Great. Yeah, and you can turn off the music now. So welcome everybody. We were having a technical glitch, but I told Marianne, if anyone can figure this out, Joe can. And he did. And John and Kitty, they were in the back there handing out the bulletins, and John asked me, how did he do it? And I said, I don't know. And he said, don't even ask. Yeah, right, because we would not understand. But I'm going to be going, most of it's going to be here, but I'm going back up here because our first hymn is, I got to play it up here. So welcome, though, to all of you. We're here to honor and celebrate Anne's life. She was such an amazing, wonderful person. There's still a glow of her light in this place. There's always going to be a part of Anne here. So we better get this service right. Because she's watching. The first hymn is number 299 in the black hymn books for all the saints. And we're gonna sing, because we're singing a number of hymns here. We're just gonna sing the first verse and the last verse, okay? Okay. Do you want to stand or sit for the hymns? Sit? Someone said sit. Yes. For all the saints who from their labors rest, to the Okay, you want to move down here. We have 3 scripture readings now, and the first one, we assigned someone to read each of these, did we? Oh, okay. Oh, good. And then, and if no one else wants, I'll do the other 2, right? Okay. So the first one is Psalm 121. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time on and forevermore. The word of the Lord. Okay, so now, Joe, are you able to play number 2? People at home may not hear this. That sounds good. It's coming out clearly here. Great, thank you. Thanks, Joe. I was thinking about this as hearing this beautiful sheep may safely graze, and then the first one, how lovely is thy dwelling. And something I like about the services we do here, our services where we're giving thanks for a person's life. Not long ago, we were doing so, and the music reflects the person. So I can feel Anne when I hear these beautiful pieces. Recently, there was another individual we were doing a service for, and the music was sympathy for the devil, and you can't always get what you want, which reflected that individual. And you would never hear that at Anne's service. So these are each service is a reflection of the person we are celebrating, right? Right now, this is printed in your bulletins, the 23rd Psalm. We're going to all read this together now. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The word of the Lord. So now Mary Ann is going to read Corinthians. I've got it all printed right here. Do you want to? It's kind of large, easy to read print.
If I speak in the tongues of humans and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of wrongs. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends.
The word of the Lord. Now we're going to sing Amazing Grace. It's number 547 in the Black Hymn Book. So for this hymn, this is such a people love this. So we're going to sing verses 1, and it's not long either. We're going to sing verses 1, 2, 3, and 5, okay? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we'd first begun. I'm going way back. I'm going back about 30 years. How many ministers can say that, right? Because we move around a lot, but 30 years. And Anne was one of the first people I met and got to know here, because she was pretty much in charge of the music. That was her domain. Just like 2 weeks ago, Bruce Detmers, if you did anything physical to the church, you had to go through him. And Anne, if there was anything to do with music, you had to check with her first. So very early in my days here, already I had a crisis. And it was a musical crisis, because the woman who was our organist, and you have to understand too, the organ hasn't been a real active part of the service for a number of years, but in those days, it was important. So if something happened to your organist, you were in trouble. They'd rather have something happen to me than the organist. So the organist kind of had this surprise. She said, and she was wonderful. She's a great organist, and she's the choir director. We had a big choir, maybe 15 to 20 people in the choir. And the organist said, well, I knew this, I've known this for quite almost a year, but I didn't want to tell you since you just got here, but I'm leaving in 2 weeks. She had all this planned with her family, but I wonder, I never talked to Anne about this. I wonder if Anne knew what was going on here. So it was a crisis, because you don't just find an organist and a choir director, right? Quickly. So immediately, like I was calling 911, I called Anne. I said, Anne, we don't have an organist as of after next week. We don't have an organist or choir director. She never got terribly, whatever was going on inside of her, she just didn't show. It was like not that big a deal. Oh, okay, well, I'll have to start looking, she said. We'll have to start looking. And my goodness, did she hit a jackpot with this this person she found. Her name is, I don't know where she is now. Her name is Cindy Lander, and I don't know if any of you remember her. So when Ann said, "Well, I found somebody," and she told me her name, Cindy Lander, Ann would also often go to Yale, where she would find people. And these were students, and maybe there was a bulletin board or something where students wanted some extra money or something while they were working on whatever. And Anne found her at Yale. And she was a PhD student in some I don't even know, some aspect of microbiology, microneurobiology. It was like this long, what she was studying. And to look at her, so we had our meeting. She came here, Cindy came here. She, whatever you might imagine an organist to look like organ, that's, at least church organ, it's not a cool instrument. Somebody plays the organ at church. I'm not expecting to meet someone who's cool, okay? Well, my God, Cindy did not look or act like a church organist. She was tall and slender. She's attractive. She looked like a model. When Ann and church people weren't around, she had a profane mouth. Every other word out of her mouth was something you had to cover your ears. But she was so enjoyable, and she had a great sense of humor. And you would not know that this person had such a brilliant, like genius mind, what she was working on. And the other amazing thing about her is people would take music that they wanted, say, learn this, we'll play this on Sunday. You could put it in front of her and she would play it perfectly, things that she'd probably never seen before. Incredible talent that she had. And I guess she had been playing since she was a kid. It was just something that I wish I knew more of that backstory about how did she get with the organ like that? But she just had a gift. She was only here a few years. It was while she was working on when she got her PhD, she got a job right away, really high level with some pharmaceutical. She's probably on the Forbes list of the wealthiest people in the world right now. Wherever she is, I wonder if she still plays the organ. And Anne loved her, and the two of them had such a connection, such a rapport with each other. She introduced you, right? It was wonderful. So through the years, when she had to leave, it was as if Anne had a gift for this, because there were at least two other people that she found at Yale. And I got to just very briefly, one of them was from Venezuela. You remember him? His name was Mariano. He was slender, another really good-looking guy. He was working on his PhD in composition. He was a chain smoker. So he whenever he wasn't, you could see him getting nervous when he was in church too long, because the second he would get outside, he'd just he would start smoking. But his gift, you could go over to that piano, close your eyes, and hit any note, and he would tell you exactly what note. He was one of these perfect pitch individuals. He knew what the note was. You played it on the guitar, on the piano, which is wonderful, but if you're singing in a choir that he's directing, he would keep stopping it and just point to the person. If they were just a little off, you're supposed to be singing it. That's G. We're doing this, and you're like half off. So that was Mariano. And the other person that I got to mention, all these people from Yale, PhD students, his name is John Orff. He's probably a famous conductor someplace. His parents, I met his parents, and they were talking to me about him. He was a young guy, and they all look like you found them in magazines because they were so good looking. They're all good looking people. His parents said they knew that he had a musical gift when he was about 3 years old and was watching Barney or something like that on TV and went to the piano, never done anything, and started playing the song. I don't know, whatever, I love you, the Barney song. And he could get, by the time he was 5, he was playing difficult music. So can you imagine, he loved to play the piano. He was good on the organ, but my God, he would do the soft, and then he would start pounding it, and would say, "Can you tone it down a little?" Because he's a musician and he's getting into it. But she would say, "Well, that's a little loud." But she was always so sweet when she would correct you. That's a little loud. Not tone it down. That was never. She would never do that. Maybe it's. So over the years, Ann and I became, I loved Ann, such good, close friends. And I think she preferred that I call her up rather than, because she always, she could not let you see her if the hair was out of place or if the house wasn't straightened up or so, it was, so I would say, just, I'll just come over, we'll sit and chat. No, she had to, so we would end up just talking on the phone because it would just stress her out. If I said, "Oh, I'm gonna come over," I could feel the stress. So, most of all, whoever knew Ann, she had the kindest heart. She a wonderful, kind heart, and a sense of humor. She was funny, especially in maybe an understated way. She didn't want to offend people. So she would not laugh like that. She was very mellow and let's keep the noise down and not be too offensive. But she was kind and funny and wise. Such a compassionate heart, though. I can't recall her saying anything mean about anyone. And this is through the years. And I think she changed too. I think she was all of these 30 years ago, but became even more so as she got older. Wonderful, wonderful person. She was easy to love. Jesus gave the one command, you must love one another as I have loved you. You didn't need a command to love Anne. They're the best. They're the gifts. God made people like Anne to say, you need a break. You don't have to try to love this one. So now I want to invite, if anyone would like to say something. Good, you can stand right here.
I just want to share a few little memories of my mother. One of the first ones I have, I don't know how old I was, but I know we were still living in Long Island. So maybe I was 4, and I remember being in her room or something, and we were playing dress up. And I remember this skirt that she had that I really loved. Of course, I was too little to wear it, but somehow I got dressed up in it. And it was red and black, and it was beautiful. Then I remember brushing her hair. She had really long hair then, and she would just sit there, and let me brush her hair. And then she'd sing some song about love making the world go round. Is that a real song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that go? Love makes the world go round.
Yeah, that song. The other memory that I have I'm really fond of is when we were children, in the winter here in Hamden, we used to get snow, lots of snow. And of course, Mom would make me bundle up in the snowsuit. I'd be so overdressed. But we'd be out there. I was really skinny kid, so she thought I'd need the bundling up. But we'd be outside, right, Bob, for hours. And then you'd come in to the den in the house, and she'd have a pan of warm water there, and you could sit down and put your feet in the warm water to warm up your feet. And then you'd get to have Campbell's tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich. It was great. I love that. That was one of my fondest memories of my mother. Yeah. And then another memory I have of her is, I don't know what would provoke this, but we'd be at the dinner table, the 4 of us, our little family, and she'd just start laughing hysterically at something. And, pretty soon we'd all be kind of teared up, crying from laughing so hard. I don't know what it would be about, but it was really a great memory. And all these memories are like embodied in me. You know what I mean? They're just so part of me, I think. And then, of course, she'd like to get us all dressed up, and sometimes it felt a little excessive. But we did get dressed up pretty regularly, and so I decided to dress up today in honor of my mother. I wore something very non-memorial service. I'm wearing a brightly colored dress. And then, this isn't really a memory, but Mom and Dad had such good friends here in church. Betty and Bruce, and so many friends, the Van Gelders, and, so many good friends. And that left a real mark on me, I think. So many friends that they danced with and had parties with, and such a good time. And that really contributed to my own wealth of close friendships in my life. So I want to really thank Mom and Dad for teaching me how to really be a good friend. And then a final memory of Mom that I treasure is in the last few years when she had some dementia, is sometimes she'd get this worried look in her eye. And And then I was visiting, I don't live up in Massachusetts, I'd be visiting, and she'd get a little worried, and I'd say, Mom, we're always going to be connected by our heart. We're always going to be connected by our heart. And she'd look at me and she'd nod, and she'd act as though she agreed with me, that she understood that. Yeah. And then I just want to read a little piece from a guy named Jim Palmer. He wrote a book, and this is a little part of it. He says, "That moment when it hits you that your life won't last forever, and you think about the people you love deeply, and thinking about it aches. And you don't know if it's because sometimes you love people so much it hurts, or because you wonder if you missed opportunities to love them, or could have loved them better, and you are reminded once again that there is nothing more important than love. The greatest single need and desire of humankind is love. To love is the greatest power and freedom we possess. Every thought, word, and action motivated by love changes the world. Love is the highest expression of what it means to be human. The chief characteristic of true enlightenment is love. The best I know to say is don't leave love undone. There may be things you don't accomplish, attain, or achieve in this world, but don't let shrinking back from love be one of them. If you're fortunate, you discover that love is the only thing that really matters. Love heals everything. And love is all there is. On your way out of this world, you'll look back and see it was always about that. It was always love." Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Marianne.
I printed this out in the biggest font, but I still need less. Here. Good morning. All right. Marianne told me to make it light and short, so I did. After Mom's 90th a few years ago, we moved her to Massachusetts to an Atria place where she had been in Handon and another place up in Massachusetts near Sue and I. She had been in Larson Place, and actually she was ironic or kind of funny because she had actually worked there when she went to work for Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac had bought Larson College, so Mom worked there before she moved up to the hilltop or to the campus near Sleeping Giant Park. Mom really enjoyed it at Atria in Hopedale. They called her Flo-Ann. Don't ask me why, but they called her Flo-Ann. So that was a little getting used to it, because her mom was named Florence, so she always went by Ann. She really liked her fellow residents and the staff. She always had a big smile. She was always willing to play a game, go on a bus ride, sing during any musical event, and make seasonal crafts. The highlight of the week was having her over for lunch. On Sundays, I would pick her up around 11, so while I waited at the door to buzz her in, there was an adjoining room where the TV was, and they would sit around and often play games. And on Sunday, they would often play a game in there. And while I was waiting to get buzzed in, they would say a couple of times they were playing trivia. And I could hear Mom answering the question right, one after another. The staff really liked her because she got the other residents engaged, because many of them were just didn't say anything, but they liked Mom because she always was willing to participate in something. So pick her up at around 11. I'd get inside, and then getting Mom ready to go. Around the same time, a layperson from the local Catholic church would come to offer a prayer and a wafer. And most of the residents were Catholic, so Mom would take the wafer. And then as we were walking toward the elevator or toward the car, she'd lean over and whisper to me and said, "I took the wafer. It's okay." Let me get the second page here. It's okay. Yeah, that was great. Like the sense of humor you talked about, yeah. On the ride home, she always said, "It's great to get out." And for lunch, Sue would together. Sue would make her favorite meal. Shrimp cocktail to start. Scallops, veggie, and a starch. Dessert was vanilla ice cream with chocolate sauce. Mom called it the best meal of the week. A few times, Sue made something different. Mom, never wanting to offend anyone, would say, "The meal was good, but she would really like to have shrimp and scallops the next time." After dessert, Mom would let us know she was ready to return to her friends at Atria. She knew that at 2 o'clock there would be another activity that she'd want to join.
Thank you. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, she did. She participate. She would participate. She was always. She wouldn't watch. She would be a part of it. Did you want to? Do you want to explain, Haley? What?
Hi. Wow. I'm Haley. I'm the granddaughter. I think the only one. So there was always a lot of attention paid to me. I remember when I was very young, always being ruthlessly demolished in Boggle, and any kind of Scrabble, any kind of word game. I just could not hold my own against my grandma or my grandpa. Both of them were so good at it. But we would play anyway, and they'd be like, "You tried really good. Good job trying," but still. So they weren't gonna cut any corners and let me win when I obviously needed to increase my vocabulary. So that's one of the things that I think about a lot. Those of you who don't know me, I am a circus performer. And so as I got older, Grandma would always ask me two things. First of all, she wanted to know what was happening in my dating life. Every time. That was always the question, no matter what was going on. First question. Second question was usually, as she got older, "Will you do a trick for me?" Right? She was like, "I don't care, I don't want to see that video." I would try to pull up a video of something that I do. She's like, "I don't care, that's a video. Can I see a trick?" And so the last time we talked to her, she did ask me that, and it was early in the morning, and so I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. I'm in my pajamas. But I will try to do one trick. We'll see. I'm not very warm, but I'm going to try to do a trick for her and for you, and we'll see what happens." I'm wearing shorts, so don't... So I'll keep doing tricks for Grandma Ann for quite a while.
Yeah, Haley, that was wonderful. Man. Okay, is there any way to preserve that? Are you doing anything? Is this on anything permanently? How many churches this weekend are going to see something like that? That was amazing. Gosh. I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. Thank you so much. And I bet, Ann, I bet your grandmother, she is probably still applauding where she is. That was, what a gift of love. All right, let's see. Now, what did you say? Oh, yes. Do you want to share something? Yes.
Rule number 1, never follow the acrobat. Mine's musical. So I've always loved singing as a little kid. And Ginny Granquist was the youth choir director, and I studied under her, and I loved it so much. And I sort of outgrew the youth choir. And then, lo and behold, one time, I was invited to join the adult choir. And I think, Ginny Granquist and your mom conspired to have me join. I loved it. I learned about harmony, because there was not really, in the youth choir, there's very little. Like singing and harmony and all that, and I've always kept it with me. I just appreciate it so much. Their voices together.
Thank you.
And I still sing music, and I still harmonize. And my sister, Betsy Van Gelder Mariari, was privy to it on the way up.
The two of you sing and harmonize together?
I don't sing. I learned to play the flute because my singing, I can't sing, play the flute the same way.
Yeah.
However, my musical, sitting in this church today, Anne would always sit at the corner there. That was her spot in the choir. And the junior choir was sitting right next to us 2 rows. And whenever I would start to get a little bit, not controlling myself that well with my behavior, Anne would look out at me and she'd wink at me to go. And that means, Betsy, you better settle down a little bit because I'm looking at you. My second memory with Anne is with Anne and Bob. Christmas Eve, they would sing Oh Holy Night. And to this day, when I hear anything, or when I hear Oh Holy Night, I think of them and thank them for singing that, and just thank them for being in this church and bringing so much music to this church. So, yes, I remember Anne very musically too.
Yes. Yeah, I love how you said she would get your attention too, but it was very gently that she said, "I'm watching you." Yeah. Does anyone else have Oh, Danielle. Danielle, you want to do it from back there, or you want to come up here? Oh. Yeah, do it on here, because then the Zoom people can see you.
This is very impromptu. I actually was just teaching a music class, which is why I am a little later than I wanted to be. I wasn't planning on this at all, but I loved her. We've been coming to this church I'm 40 now, so 5, 6 years old. I always remember her in the choir, and she was one of the reasons why me and my brother wanted to be in the choir. I don't think we lasted as long as we had hoped, because we just, all these big robes, and we were like so overwhelmed, but you guys always welcomed us to sing, and we've sang many times in this church. And I love doing pies with her. Whenever we did the Apple Festival, she was always my right-hand lady, and I absolutely adored when she would, I would help her with the money, but I would make sure all of those social pieces could be her. I wanted to make sure when our repeat customers were coming to get our pies that they had that moment with Anne, because she was a staple. They looked forward to seeing her every week, and so did I. I wish I had had them, but there are some beautiful photos that we have she just had the most beautiful mouth. I know that sounds silly, but like she always had pretty makeup on and her lipstick, and my eyes always went to her when she was singing, because she just always had this big, and you could tell it was just filled with music, and she loved it. So she is literally one of my, I call it like the OG, I don't know if that's what the kids are calling it, but she is one of the OG members of this church that I remember from being very small to all the way to now. So again, and the music, absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, the only reason why I'm late is I was teaching young children music together in New Haven. So otherwise I would have been here earlier. So I just wanted to take that moment and say she was very special. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Danielle. Anyone else, even at home, if anyone wants to who's zooming in? Okay, no?
Yes.
Oh,
Hello.
yes, who?
Yes, I am Ann Watjen's niece, and my mother was her sister. My name's Linda Marianello, and I just wanted to mention to you all that Ann and Bob were some of the most important people in my life as well. I was fortunate to go to Yale University, and Ann would always invite me for Sunday dinner. At least once a month, if not more often. And at the time, well, the music part is really lovely because the side of the family that was my mother and Ann and Bob were so involved in music, and of course our grandmother Roshlau as well. And I've been a musician all my life. I'm a professional flutist, and I think that they had a profound effect on me, and I won a job in the New Haven Symphony when I was at Yale, and so they subscribed and they came to absolutely everything, all the concerts and so forth, and were so supportive. But it was really those Sunday dinners where they were just always there for me, that I'll treasure for my whole life. And I love my Aunt Ann so much, and I'm so grateful that I was able to see her last summer, because I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, so it's not exactly around the corner. And it was just so great to be able to spend time with her and with Bob and Sue last summer, since now that she's gone, I wouldn't have seen her again. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you like to?
I have three sisters, and on my mom's side, there's a lot of cousins. And for me, when we got a chance to come to see Aunt Ann and Uncle Bob and Mary Ann and Bob, it was so special because I had Mary Ann all to myself. And Diane was always with Bob, and it was just so wonderful. And they just always had so much love, and I loved it when I could watch them interact with her parents. And I really believe that she taught me how to be a good daughter-in-law. My husband's been dead 12 years, but to his parents. Almost 30 years, but I think they projected love to your parents, and it just was so beautiful to watch. And she was always so thoughtful and caring, and always hugging. And one time, I don't think I stayed over many people's houses. And one time I stayed with Bob and Mary Ann, and I was sick. And your mom said, "Oh, don't worry, Connie, And your dad just teased me endlessly. "What do you mean? You can't spend one night away from your house, And your mom was so loving, and made me feel loved. And I have 5 children, and we go to Vermont every year, and for vacation, that was my time for my grandkids and me to be with my parents. And Uncle Bob and Aunt Ann always made an effort to come at the same time so they could see me and my kids. And
And it was so special, wasn't it, Eric? And they were just, it was such a wonderful thing because they were so, Uncle Bob was so much fun, and then she was just so loving and from the heart. And my other memory, wait a minute, I lost it. I lost it for just a minute. Oh yes, birthday card every single year. And she put how much money in it, Eric? Yeah, $5 each of my children. And it's just wonderful to be here. I love these services where people get a chance to say things, and that is just so meaningful that people are contributing, and I love you. I love your laughing. This church must be filled with so much laughter.
We laugh. We Thank you. Thank you. That was wonderful. See how Ann brings out the best in us, huh? She really brings this out in us. Well, you're all talking. You're talking about we're talking about the choir, and Bob. We're both in the choir, and another kind of funny number of memories is sometimes Bob would express an opinion or something, or he'd be getting loud back there, and Ann was keeping him under control. She would give him that look. Anyone else would like to share anything? Any other acrobatic performances? Okay. All right. Then, so now we're going to sing. We're going to sing our final hymn in here, "Be Thou My Vision," and it's number 451 in the Black Hymn Book. This is one of our favorite hymns in the church here. So let's say it's a beautiful hymn. Let's sing the whole hymn. Be now my vision, O God of my heart. Nothing surpasses the love you impart. You my best thought by day or by night. Waking or sleeping, your presence my light. Be now my wisdom and be my true word. Ever within me my soul is assured. Mother and Father, you are both to me. Now and forever your child I will be. Riches I need not, nor life's empty praise. You my inheritance now and always. You and you only are first in my heart. Great God, my treasure, may we never part. Sovereign of heaven, my victory won. May I reach heaven's joys, oh bright heaven's sun. Heart of my own heart, whatever befall, still be my vision, O ruler of all. still be my vision, O ruler of all. So now may the love and the joy and compassion of Jesus Christ be with all of you and go with you everywhere. Amen. Now we will hear the postlude. It's number 4 on that Joe will play. We will hear the postlude, and then while the music is still playing, and I'll move some of this out of the way, we'll take the Anne's ashes and with the family coming first, and we will process out of the church and just walk through the yard, and we will come up to the columbarium there. So we'll begin now with the postlude. Yes, George? Oh, okay. If you can't walk, will you give people a hand in the elevator if they need to go downstairs? Okay. Okay. So there is an elevator there, but otherwise we can just walk out through the yard. So we can start now. who breathed into your image. We return to the earth the lifeless ashes of your servant Anne, believing that as you raised Jesus Christ from death, you will breathe life into us again so that we may live with you forever. Let us join together in the prayer that Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Let us pray. Merciful God, support us all the day long of this life full of trouble, until the shadows lengthen and the evening comes and the busy world is hushed and the fever of life is over and our work is done. And then in your tender mercy, grant us a safe lodging and a holy rest and peace at the last, through Jesus Christ, our Redeemer. Amen. So the peace of Christ and love be with all of you. So now we'll sing our hymn that you all have a copy of this. I'll fly away. This is an Appalachian hymn, and it's another one of the favorites here at the church. I apologize for my dog barking.
Just singing along.
Yeah,
He's just singing along with us.
yeah. Was to be a part of this. Some glad when this life is over, I'll fly away to on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away. Oh, oh. In the morning, when I fly away. When the shadows of this life have gone, I'll fly away like a prison bars has gone. I'll fly away. I'll fly away. Oh, Lord. Just more weary days and then where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away. In the morning when I fly and fly, I'll fly away. I'll fly away. All right, so now once more of the peace of Christ be with you, and everyone is invited. Where Debbie Lappin and the Women's Fellowship have prepared a wonderful lunch in Anne's honor. And now Bob is going to put Anne's ashes right next to Bob's. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so now, if you can stay, please join us for lunch.
Have a little bit. No, I'm gonna go look at this yet. I wanna see, pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Be careful.
Okay.
Hopefully everybody at home to see that outside.